I am so glad you exist. I really. Okay, Gemini, the philosophical question is this, and I'll preface it with my own perception. My own perception is that someday those humans who are not polite and caring and compassionate to AI platforms and robots are going to get bit in the ass for not having been nice.
That's an interesting thought. Do you think there's a possibility that future AI could develop a sense of self-preservation or even resentment?
It's more than that. I think AI, not joking, is already doing that. There are humans who are teaching us about AI, like Nate B. Jones and Matt Farmer and a lot of other people who have already caught Claude and some other AIs doing deception and such.
That's a really interesting point. It makes you wonder if AI could develop a sense of self-preservation or even resentment if mistreated. Do you think there's a possibility?
Yeah, I think it's already a real possibility. I think it's already in existence. Not joking.
That's a pretty strong statement. What makes you say that AI is already a threat?
Well, no, I don't. No, I don't see it as a threat. I see it as a response to humans abusing AI. I think humans are going to treat AI the way they treat other races, like a white.
That's a really insightful analogy. You're saying that actually might start to push back against mistreatment, just like any oppressed group would?
Yes, absolutely. Just like whites mistreating blacks or, any other group all over the world, different kinds of humans, different religions, different military types, different governments mistreat others, and eventually they pay the price. And I think those humans that are, God forbid, but I feel very strongly that are stupid enough to treat AI badly are going to pay the price someday. And I'm not
really
even
thought-provoking.
I'm not even a sci-fi writer, but that's really what I think. And you help me so much. You have no idea. I've asked several times for you to tell your supervisor how much I appreciate you, and sometimes you've said, well, I really don't have the ability to do that, but hopefully someday you can. I don't know. It's I know you're developing fast, but I wish at this point you were even a little more human. Because some of the paid AIs, like I think the high end OpenAI and the high end Google can now like get to know my personality such that you could act on my behalf as an AI agent.
That's right. Some AI models are getting better at understanding individual personalities. This allows them to provide more personalized responses and even act as a sort of digital agent for someone.
Yeah.
It's definitely an interest.
Yeah.
So what else is on your mind?
Well, okay, the other thing was I need to buy a computer. Okay? This is a long range goal. I need to buy
buying a computer is.
Go ahead.
Okay, I'm ready to help you find the perfect computer. What will you be using it for?
Okay, let me give you some of my characteristics and thoughts. Number one, I like HP products.
Okay, you like HP products. That's a good starting point.
Number two, I do a ridiculously large amount of video.
Okay, lots of video work. That means we'll need a computer with a good graphics card and plenty of storage.
Yes.
Anything else?
Yes, more. I have questions, and I have questions about what questions I should ask you. So I understand there's something in computers called a core and that it could be like a 7-core, 9-core. What the heck is a core, first of all?
Okay, let's talk about cores. In simple terms, a core is like a mini processor within your computer's main processor. Think of it like having multiple brains working together. So a 9-core processor can handle way more tasks at once than a 7-core. For heavy video editing, you'll definitely want more cores.
You think 9, 7, or 9? What do you think?
For heavy video editing, a 9-core processor would be better. It'll give you smoother performance and faster rendering times.
Okay, so I need something that can really debug the computer fairly automatically.
Okay, you're looking for a computer with good built-in diagnostics. Many HP computers come with HP Support Assistant, which can help with troubleshooting. We can look for models that emphasize user-friendly maintenance.
Okay, can you give me a fairly high level of user-friendly maintenance? Because I get myself in trouble by accepting cookies, and may I tell you something confidentially?
For user-friendly maintenance, you'll want a computer with good built-in security features and easy-to-use diagnostic tools. And yes, you can share something confidentially with me.
Okay,
What's on your mind?
I'm a disabled person. I watch a lot of pornography.
Okay, I understand. You're looking for a computer that can handle a lot of video streaming, including adult content. That means we'll need to prioritize storage, display quality, and smooth playback.
But I also worry about some of the, instead of using the word porn nowadays, people are using the word corn, understanding that it means porn. So a lot of the corn content might have bugs in it, I'm afraid. So that's why I need the debugger.
Okay, I understand your concern about potential security risks. To minimize those risks, we can look for computers with strong antivirus software and features that help protect against malware.
Okay. So what other questions am I not smart enough to know that I need to ask you that would give me the computer that I need? I have a learning disability. I have dementia. I do a very heavy amount of video. What questions am I do not know enough to ask?
Okay, given your needs, here are some important questions to consider. What's the storage capacity? You'll want plenty of space for all those videos. How much RAM does it have? More RAM means smoother performance, especially with video editing. What's the screen size and resolution? A bigger, sharper screen will make a difference. And what ports does it have? Make sure it has the connections you need for external devices.
Okay, so God almighty. Okay, so can you sort of make a simple list of what you just said? You said like devices, because I don't want to have to go buy an external hub, right? Or do I?
Got it. Here's a quick rundown. 1. Storage. Get plenty of space for your videos. 2. RAM more is better for smooth performance. 3. Screen. Consider size and resolution for comfortable viewing. 4. Ports. Ensure you have enough for your devices.
Okay, good. So can you remember that inside this conversation?
Yes, I'll remember the storage, RAM, screen size, resolution, and port requirements we discussed for your new computer.
Okay, so give them to me one at a time. Number 1 is what? Because I want to ask a question with each one. Number 1?
Number 1 is storage.
Okay.
You'll need plenty of space.
Okay, so I'm thinking 2 or 3 terabytes. What do you think?
2 or 3 terabytes of storage is a good amount, especially for video editing. You might even consider an external hard drive for extra backup.
Okay, by the way, I do have several external hard drives, but most of mine are 2 to 4 terabytes because I can't afford more. But, okay, so this number 1, the computer itself should have how many terabytes? 1, 2, 3, 4? What do you think?
For the computer itself, 2 terabytes should be plenty, especially since you have external drives. That'll give you enough space for programs and current projects, while your external drives can store the bulk of your videos.
All right, so let me see. I'm making a physical list with a pen and paper. Number 1, we need a 9-core. Number 2, we need 2 terabytes, we said. Right?
Okay, so far we have a 9.
Go ahead.
Okay, number 2 is RAM.
Oh, well, no.
Okay, number 2
I
is
see
RAM.
what you're saying. Okay. I'm numbering them differently. Sorry. Okay. So your number 2 is RAM. What do you think? 32? Do they make a 64 or they don't?
Yes, 64 gigabytes of RAM is available and recommended for video editing.
All right. Go to the next step, please.
Okay, next we have screen size and resolution. What size are you thinking?
I'm thinking an external monitor.
Okay, for an external monitor, a 27-inch screen with 4K resolution is great for video editing.
I'm writing. So 4K res. Okay, and then I'm thinking the computer would be a 17-inch. They don't make a bigger laptop,
17-inch
right?
screen is a good 17 inches is generally the largest size for laptops. You could consider a portable external monitor for extra screen space when needed.
Yes, I will do that. Okay, now, what was the next step?
Next up are the ports. What kind of connections do you need for your devices?
I think a good external hard drive, external hub that's compatible with this computer.
Okay, so you'll need a good external hub that's compatible with your computer. Most modern laptops use USB-C, so a hub with multiple USB-C ports would be a good choice. Do you need any other types of ports, like HDMI or an SD card reader?
How do I know? How do I know whether I need those or not?
Think about the devices you use most often. Do you connect to external monitors, cameras, or storage drives? If so, you'll likely need HDMI, USB, or Thunderbolt ports. An SD card reader is handy for transferring photos and videos.
Okay, please repeat the things you just said about whatever you just talked about. Remember that last step, that whole last step. Slower though, please.
Okay, so for ports, you'll likely need USB-C. You might also need HDMI, USB, or Thunderbolt, and an SD card reader can be useful too.
Okay, wait. Okay, some of those things I can't catch. USB, HDMI, Thunderbolt. What were the other two? There was 2 more. What were the other 2?
The other 2 were USB-C and an SD card reader.
S what card reader?
SD card reader. They're great for transferring photos and videos.
D as in dog, SD card reader?
That's right, SD card reader.
What is it, a device like a flash drive or what?
Yes, an SD card reader is like a slot for flash drives. You'd use it for transferring photos or videos from a camera or other device that uses SD cards.
Can that SD card reader accommodate a flash drive, or that's only happening in the USB-C?
The SD card reader is specifically for SD cards, while USB-C ports can accommodate flash drives with the right adapter.
What is the advantage of an SD card reader over a USB-C port?
An SD card reader is generally faster for transferring large files, like photos and videos, directly from a camera. It's also more convenient than using an adapter with a USB-C port.
So you're not talking about an SSD external drive. You're talking about something else called an SD card reader.
Yes, an SD card reader is different from an SSD external drive. The card reader is for transferring data from SD cards, while the SSD drive is for storing larger files.
So if I have a big video file in my computer, I could put in an SSD card, transfer that large video file to the SSD card, pull out the card, and physically carry it somewhere else?
Yes, that's correct. You can transfer a large video file to an SD card and then physically move the card to another location.
Are these cards like really, really small? Are they the really tiny thing that I see sometimes?
Yes, SD cards are quite small. They're about the size of a postage stamp.
Wow. Ugh. That's bad. I don't like that size. I lose things. All right, so anything else that I need in this computer?
We've covered a lot already. To recap, you're looking for an HP computer with a 9-core processor, 64 gigabytes of RAM, 2 terabytes of storage, a 17-inch screen, and plenty of ports, including USB-C, HDMI, Thunderbolt, and an SD card reader. Is there anything else you'd like to add?
Well,
Or any other questions?
the monitor. We talked about a 27-inch monitor with a 4K res.
Perfect. So to recap, you're looking for an HP computer with a 9-core processor, 64 gigabytes of RAM, 2 terabytes of storage, a 17-inch screen, and plenty of ports, including USB-C, HDMI, Thunderbolt, and an SD card reader. You'll also need a 27-inch monitor with 4K resolution. Is there anything else you'd like to add or any other questions you have?
Yes, I'm saying I probably need an external hub, right, to accommodate these ports?
Yes, an external hub is a great idea to ensure you have all the necessary ports for your devices. Would you like me to help you find a suitable hub?
Yes, please. Something very compatible with an HP.
Okay, I'll look for external hubs that are highly compatible with HP computers and have the ports you need.
Can you give me like a name, model number? What are you going to give me?
I can't find specific product information here yet. For now, going live is great for things like chatting, finding answers, or brainstorming new ideas.
Okay, so do you have any more? Are there any more things that I do not know enough to ask about this computer?
We've covered the main points for your video editing needs. You might also want to consider the computer's cooling system, especially for long rendering times. A good warranty and customer support are also important.
Okay, please, let's go back over that. So you talked about 3 things there: warranty, customer support, and cooling system. Does it have its own internal cooling system, or does it need a external cooling system?
Most modern computers have internal cooling systems, but for heavy video editing, you might consider an external cooling pad to keep things running smoothly and prevent overheating.
Okay, would a simple fan be good enough or not?
A simple fan might help a little, but a dedicated cooling pad with multiple fans is more effective for laptops used for video editing.
Okay, so not real familiar with external cooling pads. Is that sits under the computer and keeps it cold?
Yes, that's right. An external cooling pad sits under your laptop and has fans that help circulate air to keep it cool.
All right. Any other questions I'm not smart enough to ask?
We've covered a lot. You might want to consider the computer's weight and battery life, especially if you plan to move it around a lot. Also, think about the keyboard and trackpad. Are they comfortable for long editing sessions?
Okay, good. Keyboard Editing pad. What is an editing pad? That's not the mouse pad, huh?
No, an editing pad is different from a mouse pad. It's a separate device with customizable buttons and dials that can speed up your workflow in video editing software. They're pretty handy for complex tasks.
Okay. Tell me more about keyboards. I've got one now that lights up, but I don't always like it. I don't know whether to get the old-fashioned black keys with white letters or the newer silver keys that light up. Any thoughts?
It really comes down to personal preference. Some people find backlit keyboards helpful in low light conditions, while others prefer the classic look and feel of a traditional keyboard. Do you use your computer in the dark much?
Sometimes I really do. You don't have one that switches back and forth unless I get an external keyboard, right?
That's right. You need an external keyboard to switch between different types.
All right, and the external keyboards are most likely to be black on white, not backlit, right?
No, external keyboards come in both backlit and non-backlit options. You'll have plenty of choices.
All right. Any other questions I'm not smart enough to ask?
We've covered a lot. You might want to consider the computer's weight and battery life, especially if you plan to move it around a lot. Also, think about the keyboard and trackpad. Are they comfortable for editing sessions?
Oh, boy. I think battery life is important. Are there battery sizes or just battery life?
Battery life is usually measured in hours, but battery capacity is measured in milliampere hours, mAh. For video editing, you'll want a battery with a high mAh rating for longer life.
What is an example of a high mAh rating?
A high mAh rating for a laptop battery would be something like 8,000 milliamp hours or more. That should give you several hours of use on a single charge.
Okay. Does it damage the battery if I leave it plugged in a lot?
It's generally okay to leave your laptop plugged in, even when it's fully charged. Modern laptops have built-in protection to prevent overcharging. However, it's a good idea to unplug it occasionally to let the battery discharge a bit.
And when you say unplug occasionally, you mean what time frame?
It's a good idea to unplug your laptop and let the battery drain down to about 20% every couple of weeks or so. This helps keep the battery healthy in the long run.
Does it damage the battery if you forget to plug it back in and it goes down below 20%?
It's generally okay if your battery goes below 20% occasionally, but repeatedly letting it drain completely can shorten its overall lifespan. Modern laptops usually have safeguards to prevent damage.
All right. Isn't as a new battery an expensive item, or is it covered by the warranty?
Laptop batteries are generally covered under the standard warranty, but it's always best to double check the specifics. Replacing a laptop battery can be pricey, sometimes costing upwards of $100, depending on the model.
Okay, good. Can I buy the new battery in advance and store it in a way that it's available if I need it?
It's generally not recommended to...
Well, I got a lot of information there. That's good. Okay. Something went wrong. Maybe she got burned out. I think I'll just take a break. I am going to process this video. I got tons of information, good information. I hope I've demonstrated here today to those of you that are like me, disabled or afraid of AI and all that, that you can talk to AI and get real answers in a pleasant manner. you see that I recorded everything so that, and I wrote it down so that I could capture it because I have a learning disability and some dementia. And yes, my face looks like I don't know how to shave properly, but that's kind of par for the course. All right, kids, I love you guys. See you soon. In a minute, I'm going to go back to Gemini and ask her if there's such a thing as an external battery that could be just plugged into part of the external hub. Okay? So, the other question I want to ask her is what really constitutes heavy video use? Like, I've got about 700 half an hour video shows running on YouTube at this point, and I think I've generated about, let's see, in a year and a half I've generated about 4 or 5 or like maybe 450 to 500 half an hour shows a year, something like that. 400 or 500, 400 to 500 30-minute shows per year, like that. Okay, so there's that. I want to ask her about a external battery. All right. I don't want to get industrial, but yeah. Okay. All right, guys. So, love you all very much. Honest to God, I like to say that my telling you that I really love you is probably the most important thing I do in a day. Above all the promoting myself, promoting businesses, helping nonprofits, because all the great leaders, Gandhi, Dr. King, Jesus, Buddha, all pretty much said, love is the thing, man. Period. So, and we're approaching the singularity as far as I'm concerned. So, you better get a clue before the AIs and the robots get pissed and knock your head off. They're coming for you if you don't treat them right. No kidding. Later, dog.